I have techniques to overcome trauma and PTSD. If I didn't have those, I wouldn't be sitting here even. I may not be fully there and I may not be fully sane because of a lot of shit I've seen and done and so forth and experienced. I walked down South Beach, right next to the News Cafe, which was a thing in South Beach in the early days and so forth. There was a guy that I knew from Europe, and we walked, and suddenly I saw a red dot on the back of his head, right where you would put it if you want to put out somebody, like at the base of your spine. When you want to kill somebody really quickly, it's to the back of that, or one is usually sufficient. And without thinking, I threw myself on top of that guy, threw him to the ground, landed on top of it, and I sort of came to. It was a reflex. I mean, it happened all within a fraction of, a couple of seconds or whatever. Then I looked and I saw a guy with a laser pointer and laughing at me. That was probably 30, 40 feet away from me. And I lost it. I went and I grabbed that guy and I shook him and I said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" He said, "It's a laser pointer." I said, "What's a laser pointer?" I said, "The only laser pointers I've ever seen were attached to an M16-2A. I didn't know what that was. I'd never actually seen a laser pointer. I didn't have a cat at the time. Actually, I did have a cat at the time, but I didn't know those things existed. That was something that was a civilian use for that. I had never seen one of those. Everybody looked at me like, yeah, and they were right. I was like, that guy's totally nuts. He's like, he thinks he's living in a movie. And I was for a few seconds there, for maybe 10, 20 seconds, I was completely living a movie. It's not a good experience. So yeah, this is the kind of shit that you will be dealing with. And I did not experience high intensity conflict, not even low intensity conflict. And I vouch for any soldier seeing actual combat, which is 100 times worse than what I saw. You don't want to be there. You don't want to experience it. And I made it unscathed physically, okay? And I mean, was it every 27 minutes some veteran offs themselves in America? We support our troops until we don't. We support our troops as long as it serves, it sounds great, it's a nice bumper sticker on your car. But when you see that homeless guy that was actually maybe, it might have been a master sergeant for all you know, or sergeant major, depending on your branch of government and so forth. It might have been E5, doesn't matter, but he was there. He might have been grunt, he might have been a Marine. You don't know that. But the thing is, those guys all did that. And even if they came home in one piece, they're still not the same. You know how many people come back to the base and shoot wife and kids and then themselves? I mean, we don't take care of our veterans. So think twice, think thrice, think 100 times before you join this thing.